I'm not saying the long can't be done between these 2 points. I mean, frankly, it's got a pretty good success rate in between there. I don't like what I've seen here, so maybe an entry point, I suppose, if we were being really, really fussy, we could have an entry point above there at 81.18. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Good afternoon. Oh yeah, don't worry, the video's coming. The charts are coming, don't fear. I was just in the process of doing a couple of things before getting on there. How's it going then, guys? Hope you're doing well. Good. Alright, so big day today, obviously. I'm going to start working through and building the book. See what's going on. Right, let's get to it. So, actually, just before I start ploughing on, the bloody DAX this morning was a nightmare. Took a short in that one, took a loss, which was really annoying. And then we had the opportunity for the EU 50, which almost went for a breakout and then failed. So that was annoying as well. But it wasn't great. It wasn't great in terms of the trading biases this morning for the European session. We did end up getting the breakouts, but a little bit later on in the morning, we didn't really amount to much. Yesterday's America session was pretty good. It was pretty good. That wasn't an actual trade, by the way. That was just from our trading plan. But at the time, I did not get the access to that big whopping move. It was over and done within a couple of minutes, really. But a really nice explosive move. And the move that came thereafter as well throughout the rest of the day was brilliant. I did, however, capture a long in the NAS 100, which was improvised from our original trading parameters, and that was it, a 1 to 3.1. It was a beast, and it felt good. Felt good to get that straight in the tank after being away for a week, so that was nice. But yeah, obviously we have had 0.25% removed off yesterday's profits with that bloody DAX this morning, and that was a bit of a shame. But anyway, it's fine. There'll be plenty more of those to come, I'm sure. So, starting off from the bottom then, USD Yen. Good. Right, so starting off from the bottom then, USD Yen. Let's start off on the daily timeframes. So, daily time frame, first of all. What do I think about that? I'm not really thinking too much. So we've got nothing going on this week, really. We've got the ISM out this afternoon, of course, 3 p.m. And that's about it. I'm not sure. I think we've got some margin available here. We've got this area, don't we? I like this area. It's quite interesting, actually, this one. So if we think about the space in between there, we're just breaching that now. So we get the breaker structure above here. We could see a push up to 149. We're currently trading 147.70. By the time the breaker structure takes place, that'll be 148. So that's about a 100 pip move. What does it look like if we go back in time, though? That's the thing, isn't it? So that's not perfect. and neither is that. We've had a bunch of breakout attempts at this level in the past over the course of the last year, which have not amounted to many successful runs to that high. Actually, in fact, this is the only time where that has happened. Excuse me. Excluding, of course, this whopping great move. So it's not good. Yeah, it's not got a great success rate. There's a lot of market imbalances around the mid of this area. I think the highest probability point in which to rally to would be here. And then that is not going to leave us much room for the intraday trade, is it? Because by the time we break out of there, opportunity is going to be done and dusted. And frankly, I mean, bloody hell, recent history, we've already had a loser there as well. We got the break of structure, it came up, died a death, and then took a turn, didn't it? That was Monday. Yesterday. Was it? Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, 9:30 in the morning. So it's very, very recent trading history, that one. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to leave USD Yen alone for the time being. Or for the long, at least. I think we do have the capacity for a short that's available here, but obviously we are going to be focusing here on a single bias. The rejection trade from this point of liquidity, it could take us back down to approximately 147.10-ish. So, zone through here, inflection point. This is a little bit of a mess here, but we do have the multiple break, close and retest situated along the row. We have the rebound. We have secondary retests here before the continuation. So it's a pretty strong trading margin. We do have a TRF, and TRF's at around 147.35. But I think if it does reject the point in which I think it may, in this context, the break of structure there would yield a pretty good result back down to that low. So let's have a look at entry, target, and stop loss at the 50% point. That's going to yield a 1 to 2.43. So I'm actually happy having that as a rejection trade from there. Yeah, so that's going to be trade idea number 1. USD Yen short. I am as well going to be filling out the book. So USD Yen, we are looking at a pending order on that one. It's going to be via break of structure for a short order. Okay. Next up, USD Swiss. Daily time frame, let's check it out. So USD Swiss, we've got a break, close and a retest going on at the moment. The retest did fail a little bit, but it is pushing on. Frankly, I mean, this could have just been a little bit of an oversight on my behalf with the zone placement. If we just bring that zone down a little bit, we still have everything that we need from these previous points of inflection here, and we have the break close retest, which is quite neatly still there in liquidity. We did breach it ever so slightly on the daily, but frankly, guys, that's absolutely fine. I think a push to the previous highs on this USD Swiss might be the best point of call, considering we've got a short in the USD Yen. So this would be the offset, the risk offset. So let's go down to the 50-minute time frame here, look at the margins available. So we've already had a pretty good run so far. That's a shame, because it does mean that where we're trading at the moment, I'm not really feeling going long in between these two areas, because we're in the upper half of this trading margin. I'd much prefer go long from, say, 80, 86, or even lower, to be honest, at 80, 77, maybe 10 pips below there. I'm not saying the long can't be done between these 2 points. I mean, frankly, it's got a pretty good success rate in between there. I don't like what I've seen here, so maybe an entry point, I suppose, if we were being really, really fussy, we could have an entry point above there at 81.18. And yeah, call that a job well done. So I suppose let's have a look at the margins available. So if we say get involved above the red line with a target profit at 81.44 or 43.40-ish, the stop loss, yeah, that's not working for me. I wonder 1.8, and there's not really much in terms of fine tuning that we're going to achieve. Yeah, no. I don't know about that. I wonder 1.87 is really on the cusp for me. I mean, generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, we don't aim to take anything less than a 1 to 1.75 or something, 1 to 1.7-ish. But I don't know. I've got into a bit of a, I don't know if it's a bad habit or not, but I've got into a bit of a habit with looking for only very positive 1 to 2. So 1 to 2.1s are now the new 1.8, 1 to 1.87, for example. And I guess I may be leaving some money on the table at times, having those sort of stringent methods. But I don't know, it's worked out pretty well so far, hasn't it? I'm not sure. I think it would be nice to offset the risk of the USD yen in something, frankly. So I think I may go for this one anyway, because frankly, if the USD yen doesn't lock out and we don't see that take place, then the USD Swiss is still going to be returning, 0.45, 0.47 or something. So it's going to be all right. It'll be money in the tank at the end of the day. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I am going to set up, I want to look at a secondary opportunity though. So what I would like to see is actually a rejection from this area in here. And I'll be utilizing that as the break of structure, right? So my plan then would be to have a secondary trade on the opportunity along from there, same target profit, but of course we'd have the stop loss down below these two areas, and this is going to yield a 1 to 2.67, so we've got a much greater stop loss, better protection. I mean, this is quite a big inflection point. Yeah, it's a pretty hefty one, and if we come down here and then we bounce back, that's going to be also quite nice to look at as well. So something like this, for example. So I'm going to send that. So yeah, there's going to be two opportunities, but we're only going to take one. If the market's already trading down at 80.97 already, isn't it? So we're almost there. Yeah, we're almost there. I can't remember if I downloaded the USD yen, so I'll download that one as well. There we go. USD Swiss, that's going to be a green. Let me fill out the book. So that's a USD versus the Swiss. Pending break structures for long. That's good. Right, next up, let's have a look at the NZD Prime. So NZD USD, let's check out the daily, get some context. Daily time frame at the moment. Not entirely sure. Let's check the rest. So the Swissy, that's a no can do for me at the moment. Interesting. Huge break of structure. Come back down to, I tell you what guys, that's actually looking really nice. So we've got lots and lots of interesting areas around here. I mean, this has yielded some really hefty moves away, hasn't it? Really hefty moves away. We got that one there as well, and this one here. So yeah, it's definitely been at the forefront of some big moves. We've had a couple of fake outs along the way, but we are talking about a year's worth of price action here. It's going to happen. We're not going to find perfection, and that's not really our job. Always a game of probabilities. But we do have a lot of commercial interest taking place at around this level. It might be a really nice time to start looking at buying back into the NZD versus the yen. I mean, we've been in a very, very long road, haven't we? We've been on a very long road here. The yellow brick road, as it appears. Ups and downs along the route, but just continuing to push higher and higher and higher and higher. And then we get this big sell-off. We clear a load of the dead money. Lots and lots of dead liquidity now wiped off the market. Retail traders' stop loss has all been triggered down here. We've cleared out. Now we're getting ready for the next commercial move. It makes sense. It just makes sense looking at this in the moment from that sort of commercial standpoint. Let's check out the Actually, before we drop down a time frame, let's check out the target profit availability. So we've got, I'm not really too concerned about that. What I really want to go for is the real high, the real ceiling. And aside from the sort of major point that we're all looking at, which is up there, of course, we have the mid, and the mid is situated about there. It's not actually a true mid, it's a little bit more higher than that, but I think that's going to be a pretty decent margin to work with. Yeah, they both are. Both very decent margins to work with. So we've got a little bit of a gap there, a little bit of a void. We've got this area of interest that the price is trading up to now. We don't necessarily have... well, actually, yes we do. Because that there is the one, isn't it? Beginning of the price action pullback. We gap underneath. Rebound. Excuse me, huge breakout. We finally come back down to retest. We failed the breaker structure point to continue, so that's fine. Back into liquidity again. I mean, that is a very nice, aggressive breaker structure point that I would be happy to utilize. On the basis that we're going to get into the market earlier, however, I'm curious if we should think about taking the market up to 87.78, or in actual fact just take it to the previous high on the 15-minute chart. I mean, that's a solid trading margin. It makes me question why I would want to stay in it longer. I mean, if we can still get a very nice yield out of this one, I mean, even with the target profit there, it's a 1 to 3. Nah, not a 1 to 3. Let's say a 1 to 2.9. Would I have the stop loss lower? Should I have the stop loss a little bit lower than that? I mean, possibly. I wouldn't do historically. That is where the stop loss would go. But maybe I could bring that down to a 1 to 2.5 just to give it a bit of extra margin to play with. That's a really nice, well-rounded trade idea. I mean, we're trading directly away from commercial liquidity in here. And that's only the first stage. If the market reaches the target profit there, then I'd be looking for a secondary breaker structure at 87.50 to finish the run up to 87.80. I mean, we're going to be making some serious money working our way up there. And then, of course, we've got the 15-minute break close retest of 88.10 for that final big push up to 88.70. I mean, that's got to be yielding a 1 to 3. So we could be looking at a 1.5 to 2% return out of this NZD yen move. So I'm really liking that at the moment. Definitely, you probably tell in my voice. It's giving me the warm and fuzzies. So I'm definitely going to look at that one. NZD yen long, pending order, breaker structure access, 87.104. Let me just update the book on that one as well. So we've got NZD JPY. We're looking at pending orders all the way. Breaker structure for longs. Nice. I like that. Right, let's have a look. NZD CAD. I'm just going to check the questions quick. Yeah, okay, all good. Right, NZD CAD then. Daily time frame. Get the context. So a lot of consolidation at the moment. A lot of market indecision. We do have good structure at the highs. That's about there. The low is a little bit inconsistent. We did have a nice low point, and this was a really nice range. But the market is definitely, it's testing the water, isn't it? It's really testing the water at the moment. Are we going to get the breakout of this area? And that area is going to be there. So that's the breaker structure for the short. If we do get the breaker structure out of here, we do need a retest. So that's going to be on the cards. The retest will confirm the negative imbalance of the price in this context. And then we could possibly look at a move down to the previous main point of inflection, which is going to be at 80. Or actually, technically speaking, 80.17. So that's going to be the margin to trade there. So that's actually really nice, but we've got parts of the process that aren't complete yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up an alarm on this one, and I'm going to label the NZD CAD as a pink to go back to. And we'll have a look at that one tomorrow. Right, let's have a look at our pound pairs. So obviously we have the BOE this week. That is taking place on Thursday afternoon at 12 noon GMT. So please be aware for that one. We are looking at a 25% basis point cut, 0.25% off the rate there. Not going to be good for the pound. It's going to be quite bearish, and I should imagine that Bailey is probably going to be quite dovish in his press release as well. The UK has not been doing well. The economy is shrinking and not growing. We aren't going in the right direction. So he will outline this as well. I would almost guarantee you guys. So my bias is weakness from the BOE event this week. Now, looking at where cable's currently trading, well, actually, no, most importantly, looking at where the DXY is currently trading. Big sell-off from last week's NFP. We are not actually looking at the continuation of the fallout from those NFP jobs numbers at the moment. We're looking at a bit of a buyback. The market's looking pretty strong here. Now, we are up against liquidity. That's never a good sign. We've got a lot of resistance above price right now. So the path of least resistance is not clear. However, with the oncoming danger from the BOE and the danger that presents to the GBP, I'm thinking from this daily time frame, if we're coming back over the course of the next couple of days to retest this area, if this probably, I mean, this could definitely already be considered a retest as is. I'm thinking a continuation from this point on, based on fundamental and technical risk profile, is going to be a really, really sweet opportunity. So then we're going to go down the 15-minute time frame here. Let's check out the view. Lots of chop around here. I want to clear most of that out. We're not going to be able to get it all, but I'd like to at least try and clear out this low here, and that's the low that was 2:15 yesterday evening, just when the market opened. We've got a pretty decent amount of room in the tank before we hit the low of 132.16, so that's nice. We go back in time, it's about there. So that's your breaker structure for the short. Now with this short, because we are quite delayed in our approach to this, we're not going to get the aggressive entry, the high stop loss, and so on and so forth. So I do want to just propose a secondary opportunity like I did for the USD Swiss. The secondary opportunity is going to be here, about there, yeah, just about there. That's going to be a secondary opportunity, but there's a catch. You can take the short here, right? So that's the breaker structure under there. That's the margin, normal margin underneath. And you're going to be looking at yielding possibly around a 1 to 2.77, which is a fantastic trade idea, but it does lack the protection, right? Because the market could easily come back up here. It could easily move in and around these areas, right? So even if we had it right the way up there at a 1 to 1.94 on the risk reward scale, you're still running a bit of a risk. However, that's the trade. It's a 1 to 2.77-ish. I want to go for basically the 50% point between this level and the big daily liquidity above price. Again, however, if the market breaches liquidity and reaches the bite point again and then drops off, I want to be looking for a short opportunity from up here with the stop loss up wherever it's going to be in a moment, I'll tell you, with the same exact target profit down there, 131.60. That's yielding a 1 to 3.35 as is. I want to bring that stop loss up and go for basically the same exact trade idea. Okay, 1 to 2.66, 1 to 2.66, same exact trade idea. And yet this one is incredibly well protected. It's insulated because we have big liquidity on our side. We've got the primary point of inflection that we've seen so far, the highest point price action is reached in recent price action inside the stop loss, and we've got a lot of protection as well from the most recent intraday levels of liquidity. So we're nice and high in our entry, nice and low in our target, and really nice and high with our stop loss. So that's the secondary, but the market must reach the red circle, i.e. this point in here. It must reach that area first. Okay, just to be absolutely clear on that. So that's going to be cable short. Right, let me update. So we got pound, dollar, pending order, breaker structure for short. So that's going to be that. Yeah, that's going to be good. Right, so that's what I'm looking at, the cable. Now let's have a look at GA then next. If there's any questions or anything, guys, please feel free to shout them out as I'm working through. I am checking on the questions. Right, okay, so GA next up. Certainly not liking the most recent price action on this one. Looks like a grind fest. It's certainly an area where retail money is dying. So don't really want to get involved in that too much. Euro USD break close retest continuation. It's already had a BCR take place here. We've got the retest. We've got a 2-bar slot at the moment. Let's have a look at the 15-minute time frame. This is the NFP move, isn't it? So that's basically what we're looking at here. It's Friday's NFP move. We've got the big sell-off from the NFP. We have the big buy. This is the Friday NFP. So we have the big sell-off at the sort of midweek. Then we get the buyback from the NFP. And now, potentially getting trend continuation on side. So let's have a look at the 15 again. Low point down there, low point here. That's really nice. That's one hell of a breaker structure, guys, right there. Really, really nice. Really nice breaker structure there. We'll be looking at one hell of a move in this one, I must say. So we have entry. We have target profit down at the lows at 114.10. Stop loss is going to be right up at the high there, and that's going to yield a 1 to 2.47. So that's not bad. That is not bad. It doesn't come without its risks, though, this Euro USD. We've got a TRF situated at 115, so you do need to be aware of that one. And if I'm being really honest, this high also bugs me out a little bit. It does, not hugely, because I'm still happy taking the trade. It's just because that zone doesn't it doesn't encapsulate that high, and that, yeah, it's something. Yeah, it is what it is. You're never going to get them all, of course, but there is something about it that bugs me out. But anyway, I'm still going to be happy with that trade. It follows the parameters. It's trend continuation. We've got liquidity up above us. We've definitely been filling our boots with orders around here. You can see that for a fact. The market's been filling up on orders for a while now. So I think it is good. I think it makes sense. So I'm going to go for that one as well. I'm going to put some money down on the line. So Euro USD short. So that's Euro dollar short. Again, pending order. We're looking at the breaker structure as standard and short. Okay, Euro against the NZD. This is still from last week's analysis. It actually played out amazingly well. Market currently trading 195.82, but honestly, guys, I don't actually see too much more from here at the moment. The trading opportunity was supposed to go to the upper limit of the median or upper liquidity. Upper median limit has been achieved multiple times. The liquidity above price has not, but I would still be waiting for price to reach it before re-engaging. So yeah, there's nothing in there at the moment for the Euro NZD for me. Unfortunately, I wasn't even here to take that. So there we go. We've already got a couple of yen instruments now. We've got USD yen, NZD yen. So Euro yen probably not for me this afternoon at least. I can't help but feel that is certainly something nice enough to consider trading, but it just can't be right now. So maybe we'll revisit this one tomorrow. Some very, very nice trading margins available here, without question. Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good on both sides, to be fair, guys. So going to be looking at the long or the short. That's not going to be today, though. Again, that will be tomorrow, so we'll have to stay tuned for that one. That's certainly... This is good, though. It's fine because it's building our pipeline. You know, that's what it's doing, so it's all good. Right, Euro CAD on the daily. So we didn't actually get the NZD CAD confirmed. That was a revisit one, wasn't it? I'm not really seeing it at the moment though. We've got to break through this area for the short. And we've got to, of course, break through this area for the long. Yeah, no, I'd actually... Oh, no, there's way too many highs around there. No, not doing that. That's clutching. Euro CAD to clutch. Euro against the Oz. It's going down nicely. Let's have a look at the 15. Is there enough margin to have a stab at it below there? 178.33 to go for the run down to 178. Yeah. What have we got going so far in total? Euro dollar, pound dollar, NZD yen, USD Swiss, USD yen. Yeah, that's a pretty decent basket. Australian dollar. Yeah, but then we've still got the Aussie pairs to come. Let me get out of the euros. Let's have a look at some Aussie primes. I love my Oz. I love it. Let's have a look at the Aussie CAD. We don't have any CAD confirmed, and we don't have any Australian dollar confirmed, so it would be the perfect trading opportunity to finish off our basket. I wouldn't even need to look at anything else if there's an opportunity available. And it does actually look like the damn thing's ready to rock and roll. We've got the low down here. We've got the high up there. Good, solid structure from the Aussie CAD. Excuse my wide zone, don't actually need it that wide. So that's looking really good. The most recent day's worth of price action, the last sort of 48, 72 hours, it looks shit. But we have this low in here, which is a great breaker structure point. I mean, to be honest, guys, look, we can go right the way back. That's actually a really decent level in there. Let's go down the 15-minute time frame here for a moment. So we've got an incredible trading margin up to those highs. I want to be getting in here sooner rather than later. And I think I'd be happy going for a long above this point in here. This is going to be a hold, this is. We're going to be, we'll certainly be holding on to this one for, I would say, the best part of 3 days. Yeah, just as a rough guesstimate at the moment. I'd say about 3 days. I'd really like to, I might just get into it now, to be honest. Let's have a look where the price line is, because that's the point, isn't it? And that's the breaker structure point. And we're kind of just going for it. I'll tell you what, guys, you might get a market order out of me. There might be a market order in it. I'm just thinking about where it is at the moment. Target profit up at the high, 90-ish. I'm going to have my stop loss all the way down. I'm going to have that at the 50% point down here, because that's cleared a lot of the lows. We're not going to be able to beat that one, so that is what it is. Let me just mark out where the majority of the lows have been. That's about there for the majority. So we're at a 1 to 2.86. I just bring that down there to 1 to 2.7. I've beat a lot of those lows. Well, I mean a shitload of those lows. So I actually really like that, guys. I am going to go for a market order in the Aussie CAD ASAP, like literally right now. Target 90.38. Stop loss at 88.94. And we'll go from there. We'll see what it looks like. So yeah, give me a sec. I also need to update that. So that's going to be a AC order. That's not a break structure for long. Okay, right, back down here. Let's have a look. ADO 93.6, 98, and boom. Entry price is 9. All right, there we go. I'll download that one. Now we've got an AC long. God help us. All right, moving into what time are we at? We're 6 minutes past 2, team. So let's get onto the metals and move on. I'm just going to check questions. Nope, all good. Excellent. Right, so metal markets, gold. Not really feeling this at the moment. I do, however, like the long. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, because that beats those lows there as well, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that a lot. Right, so I like the long in gold. That's going to be a pending order, break of structure. We already have the retest completed by this time. So that's a good one. A golden nugget. That's going to yield around a 1 to 2.68. That was so easy, to be honest. That was the easiest setup I've I think I've come across all afternoon. So that's a really nice one up there. For the short, short's very different story. Very tricky. Lots of inflection points. No real path of least resistance. If we go up and consolidate the bars, obviously it's going to look a lot tidier. But you cannot ignore the intraday intricacies, because as an intraday trader, these are really going to be able to flip your trade upside down multiple times over. So I think the best point of call that we have is probably the break of structure under 33.35, but we're so far away from there at the moment, it seems a bit pointless putting it in. So I think at this stage, I'm probably going to be happy just taking the long. And that's actually a 1 to 3. I'm going to go for a 1 to 3 on that because the entry was actually really lax. So yeah, 1 to 3 in gold long. All right, so I'll take a picture of that one. This is like a churn and burn this session this afternoon, isn't it? So we've got gold, and that's going to be pending order via the break of structure via a long. So there's that one. Right, moving on. Energy markets, oil and natural gas. UK Brent is this week's market report trade idea. It is not going well so far. It was off to a relatively weak start, and the weakness has continued. We are just on the precipice of breaking through the daily point of liquidity here. I did outline my thoughts regarding this in the market report, so if you haven't read that yet, please go ahead and do. So I think there's a pretty decent trading opportunity in it for us at the lows. Even if we do break down below here, we've got a great success rate. So I think having an oil short, I'm not going to put the long in, I'm not going to put the long out to you guys yet because we're so far away from it. But what I am going to do is look for the breakout retest of this level. So that's going to be the break, close, retest, and then the continuation for a shorting opportunity. Now, I cannot tell you exactly where the entry should be. The entry is going to present itself once the retest is done, because then you'll have the previous price action to work to. Okay, so that's going to be a UK Brent short. So I'm going to go over to the book. So that's UK Brent pending order break. Actually, no, that's a BCR entry criteria for a short. There, awesome. All right, so that's that. Now, that's UK Brent short. There we go. Right. I think I did take a picture of that. Right, let's get on to our US indices then, team. So this afternoon, what are we looking at? US 30 Dow Jones stuff can be wiped out completely, so we can restart fresh. We've got that level in there, which needs to be, it needs to be there, that one. We've also got the point down here that could come right the way back from there, just to signify its importance. So that's one hell of a trading margin to the downside. You only have one TRF there, so that's not bad. That's not bad. We've got the high up there as well. I would probably be a little bit more on the side of taking it to the previous 15-minute high rather than the major high there. Down on the 1 minute time frame, let's check it out. So the 1 minute time frame setups, I mean, it's pretty clear actually. As long as we stay underneath this level, That's going to be your breaker structure for the afternoon, and so therefore your trade idea is going to be from there up to there with your stop loss about here. That's going to yield a 1 to 3, which is solid. Looking at this margin to the downside now under the microscope, I'm thinking you could probably wait the whole damn thing out and just take the breaker structure trade from below the low. The alternative is get a really aggressive short and go short here so you've got some room in the tank down to that previous low, and then ride the run all the way down to 44.038 with your stop loss, well, pretty much where it is, to be honest, in the exact same area as your short, as your long opportunity. This then becomes the no man's land because we've only got 19 minutes to go before the market opens up, and that's quite a realistic NML to actually work with. So there's some really, really good trading availability in the Dow Jones today. So let's have a look, download that. Now, secondary opportunities today in the NAS 100. Yesterday, mega rally up to the highs here. We have highs there. We have the low of the market today around here. And we're trading slap bang right in the middle of it, which is really annoying. We have the breaker structure for the short, which is going to be about there. We have the breaker structure for the long, which is going to be, I would say, there preliminarily. I'm just thinking, yeah. No, I would say that's going to be the one for me. Aggressive, but very precise. So we're going to have the short after a rejection of the lows for the market to come all the way back up there. We're going to have a nice big stop loss down there. That's still yielding a 1 to 3. This is the benefit of going aggressive. You can have your stop losses so damn low in the context of the market. So that's really good. And we've got our shorting opportunity. Stop loss right up there at the highs. Midpoint of the sort of liquidity there. And that's going to be a 1 to 3 as well. So a couple of really nice opportunities. But again, you must wait for the market to either reach this area or this area before taking the long or the short. Okay? So let me circle out. So we've got this area needs to be achieved there, or this one down here. Whoops, did not mean to do that. There we go, download. And then finally the S&P 500, which actually looks pretty good today. Yeah, it does. So we've got a nice high up there, good solid structure at the ceiling, really nice solid structure down at the floor. Wonderful range we've been trading in today. The breaker structure is only going to be available for the long. You guys can work yourselves out for the short. We've got a point there, I would say, is going to be the fine-tuned entry for your longs, and this is going to be reacting as the no man's land until that takes place. So we have the breaker structure above here. We have a target profit at the top at 63.51. We have the stop loss at around 63.36. And again, this is yielding a 1 to 3.1. Absolutely brilliant. I'm hoping some of these get good results over the next couple of days, especially these US Open trading opportunities this afternoon. So what we haven't done on the Dow Jones and the NAS 100, actually I tell a lie, we did. We did do it on the Dow Jones, didn't we? We had the negative imbalance trading opportunity. I did want to go for a short breakout trade somewhere. The NAS 100 didn't have one. I'm thinking this area in here, that's quite a decent trading margin. So I think, look, it probably historically does need a BCR, thinking about the fact that we've had 1, 2, and now 3 attempts at this area. You're not going to get one with the market open. So I'm going to leave things a little bit subjective, a little bit subjective to you guys. And say, if you want to take a breaker structure trade, I'm not going to moan at you. If you want to take a BCR trade, I'm not going to moan at you. And I'm going to leave the ball in your court. You make a decision on what you feel is right. And have some independence. You have independence. They're your trading accounts at the end of the day. But I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. Because right now, I have no idea. I may go for the breaker structure. I may be patient. I'm just not entirely sure. It also obviously depends on various factors like the US 30 and NAS and naturally what's going on in the rest of the portfolio. We've got a big book to work with today, team. A really big book. So just on that note, going back to the book, we have the USD Yen, USD Swiss, NZD Yen, Pound against the Dollar, Euro USD, Aussie CAD, Gold, Brent, US 30, NAS 100, and the S&P 500, all ready to go. And ultimately, we don't really need to do too much to it. So that's about it from me then, team. From this end, do you have any questions at all? Is there anything that you'd like to know further before we get stuck into the afternoon session? I'll be happy to help. Based. Right, yeah, cool, sorry. So, questions, let's have a look. All good, all clear, thanks. Thank you, Max. Excellent, guys. Well, in that case, I'm going to wish you a fantastic rest of the day. Good luck with everything out there. Hope you enjoyed the session. As always, we've got lots to get on with, so I'll let you get to it. And give me a shout out later on today. See how things are going, all right? Take care, team, and I'll see you then. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.